The history of fashion and streetwear is littered with notable figures, from Coco Chanel and Yves Saint-Laurent to James Jebbias and Virgil Abloh of today. Having said that, nobody seems to have had as much influence on how people dress as Pharrell Williams. From the early 2000s to the present, Pharrell has had a real impact not only on the things we wear, but also on how we wear them. What distinguishes Pharrell is that he has influenced not only streetwear, as is customary for producers and rappers, but also fashion and, one might contend, design in general. While being the creative director of Louis Vuitton, Pharrell Williams has without a doubt become a very prominent figure in both the fashion and music industry. But how did he start all of this? And what made him switch his path to the fashion industry? Well, that's what we are going to find out in this video today. So without any further delay, let's get started. Pharrell Williams has been more than just a musician since the beginning of his career. He was always passionate about music and used to play in the band when he was in high school. When Pharrell was 12, he went to band camp and met someone who would have a big impact on his destiny, meeting Chad Hugo, with whom Pharrell would later establish the Neptunes. Hugo played the saxophone, and he played the keyboard and drums.
We met when we were like 12, started making music when we were like 15, 16. We got discovered when we were in high school.
In the early 1990s, the Neptunes made a name for themselves by creating Blackstreet's Tonight's the Night, Maze's 1997 hit Lookin' at Me, and Nori's Super Thug, which peaked at number 36 on the Billboard Hot 100. As a result, they began to gain a following and huge jobs, such as creating Britney Spears' 2001 single Slave for You. That song gave the duo their first #1. While Pharrell has been producing beats with Chad Hugo under the Neptunes since the 1990s, he didn't start gracing red carpets until the early 2000s, when he produced Hot in Here, Drop It Like It's Hot, You Don't Have to Call, Frontin', and Rock Your Body in the year 2003, to name a few. While parts of Pharrell's early 2000s fashion choices were in line with what other rappers and producers were wearing, baggy trousers and tees, his preference for trucker hats, shearling jackets, and skateboard tees set him apart. This is when his love for fashion began to blossom. Williams soon established himself as hip-hop's fashion hero and trendsetter by fusing the coolest streetwear companies, such as Bape, with high-end couture pieces and one-of-a-kind jewelry.
Most of my style just comes from like things that I see on like everyday people who are really living their life. Like they dress for the intention of what they have to do that day.
By the year 2003, Pharrell connected with Nigo, a Japanese streetwear icon and Bape founder who is currently the creative director of Kenzo. Jacob used to tell me there's this guy from Japan that I have to meet, he once said in an interview. They began a 2-decade relationship and collaboration. They both established Billionaire Boys Club in 2003, a hugely popular streetwear brand that is still selling worldwide today. BBC made its debut in Williams' 2003 Frontin' music video, which was voted the most iconic music video in menswear history, as well as his first solo single debut, which remained the template for many years.
But from that point on, all I could think about was the conversation that I was going to have with Jacob the jeweler about what we were going to make.
After returning from Japan, Pharrell began to wear more Bape and teased certain graphics from the yet-to-be-announced Billionaire Boys Club collection. Bape's bright colors and flamboyant logos were a natural fit for Pharrell as he pushed into the mainstream, simultaneously bringing a bathing ape to the forefront, a movement aided by Pusha T and Malice, among others. His first fashion business initiatives were tremendously successful, resulting in numerous collaborations and ties in streetwear and the luxury sector. Williams worked with the design house on several occasions, creating unique outwear and the Blazon jewelry collection. He modeled for their commercials, not to mention his friendship with ex-creative director Marc Jacobs and his attendance at Louis Vuitton fashion shows on a regular basis. In the spring of 2008, Pharrell's collaboration with Louis Vuitton cemented his standing as a rising fashion powerhouse and reflected his newfound flair. Though hip-hop artists had previously collaborated with high fashion designers, most notably Tupac and Biggie with Donatella Versace, Pharrell's contributions went above and beyond, breaking new ground. Williams collaborated with creative director Marc Jacobs on a variety of accessories, including the original Millionaire sunglasses, which Abloh memorably reintroduced during his debut show. Pharrell cleared the ground for his colleagues a year before Kanye West collaborated with Jacobs on the Dawn shoe collaboration. Blazon, the French phrase for coat of arms, was created as a result of a partnership between Pharrell and Camille Miseli, the jewelry designer for Louis Vuitton. Pharrell revealed to WWD that jewelry was a costly habit of his, and that doing it on Louis Vuitton's dime made it fun for once. The end result was a collection that was really blinged out, but done tastefully. And the best part is his appointment as the creative director of Louis Vuitton. "I didn't take this appointment. I was chosen, so I'm doing what I was chosen to do," he said. The selection of Pharrell Williams as Louis Vuitton's men's creative director makes far more sense than it may appear from afar. While Williams knew the appointment came with a great deal of pressure, he looked to the past and the future. Reflecting on the giant before him, it's hard to not think about the impact that the previous menswear creative director, the late Virgil Abloh, left behind. But Abloh has freely acknowledged that Pharrell Williams was one of his greatest cultural influencers. "I am a creative designer from the perspective of the consumer," he said. "I didn't go to Central St. Martin's, but I definitely went into the stores and purchased, and I know what I like." It is assumed that Pharrell Williams will do wonders for the Louis Vuitton business. Because of Pharrell Williams' global popularity on his fashion sense, he has been named the most stylish man for years, and the industry adores him. Williams maintained close friendships with many influential people, including Anna Wintour and Karl Lagerfeld, which led to their years-long creative collaborations. He has also identified and targeted impediments to inclusion. With Louis Vuitton, Moncler, and Periton, he demonstrated that a Virginia beatmaker could also design outwear, jewelry, and furniture. He pushed the concepts that garments could be worn regardless of gender. And that's how he proved everyone wrong who thought of him only as a hip-hop singer. Not just that, but Louis Vuitton made an indelible mark on Paris Fashion Week's men's shows as they premiered the debut collection. Williams' first presentation was an ambitious undertaking, combining the richness and sophistication of high fashion with the throbbing energy and broad appeal of pop culture and entertainment. If Louis Vuitton stands out from other brands, it's because of its diversity of talent that has been brought by Pharrell Williams. If it were too uniform, it would be boring. Now the challenge is to get everyone aligned and to strike the right balance between modernity and tradition, past and future. Pharrell's unique style encourages a new group of creative people to be themselves and boldly follow their own ideas. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments section below. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to always stay updated. Thanks for watching!